It was a clear, crystal morning on the island of Sildor, and the temperature was already beginning to rise. Ah, yes, nearly summer. How lovely. I can't deny, it feels pretty good right now. While most of the engines enjoyed this, there was one engine that didn't benefit from it. That engine was Derek. While he enjoyed all seasons of the year, his faulty engine and warmer temperatures did not mix. Yeah, I suppose this weather is pretty excellent. What's got you in such a good mood? The Fat Controller told me yesterday that Flying Scotsman and I will be doubleheading a special excursion train at 5 o'clock. Oh, it will be a grand sight. It'd be nice to see Scotsman again. Just imagine two of Gresley's greatest creations double-heading a train compared to all of those inadequate diesels that roam the lines now. Ahem. Oh, no offense to you three. It would be nice to be given a train like that to pull. In all due respect, Derek, I don't think people find diesels hauling excursions fascinating when they're practically surrounded by steam engines. I, for one, could turn heads with my good looks. More like break glass. I'm sure friendly diesels like Derek could do splendid pulling specials. Have you forgotten his engine provides the power of a tin can? A bit much, Gordon. Right. My apologies, but the point still stands. And Gordon chuffed off to collect his first train. Henry looked over to Derek. Oh, never mind. Gordon meant no harm. I'm sure with a little boost, you'd be flying down the line with a special train. I suppose. But where would that boost come from? Derek headed off to the yards to collect his next train. When he arrived, he was surprised to find a few more trucks than usual in the consist. Ginty, what's with the extra trucks? Oh, that. Yeah, sorry. The yard's been a bit crowded with the more shipment demands. Philip, Katie, Cameron, and myself have been trying to handle it. Oh, I see. Well, it'll do. Alright, cheers. See you around. Gotta dash. While Derek gave a smile, he was secretly doubtful that he'd be able to manage. Nonetheless, he was coupled on and departed. The journey went well until the hill. Derek surged forward and charged it with all his might. He was about 3/4 up when... Oh no. Oh boy, your engine's heating up. Derek tried to fight back, but he just could not keep the train moving. He came to a standstill, balancing the train on the top of the hill. Oh, what would Gordon say? Never mind. I'll call Wellsworth for assistance. In the meantime, we'll let your engine cool down. Not long after, Boko arrived and ran around to the front of the train. You alright, Derek? You look rather down. I don't really know, Derek sighed as the train began moving. It's just that Gordon's right. Diesels like myself would never have the chance to pull a train of prestige. Oh my, no, chuckled Boko. While I admit some people do prefer steam engines over us, that doesn't change the amount of our reliability, though. I mean, I've pulled the Express before, even Bowler if you can believe it. From one faulty diesel to another, the only thing that restricts us engines is our doubts. If I could outlive the faults in my class, so can you. For the rest of the journey, Derek was lost in thought. Soon they arrived outside Vickerstown and were awaiting clearance to shunt the train into the yards when Scotsman rushed through the station and raced past them. Good afternoon! Oh, Boko, what would Flying Scotsman say if he saw a broken diesel down on the main line? Oh, no worries. He's a nice fellow, and he definitely knows the difference between good and bad diesels. Just wait and see. Several hours had passed by. It was nearly 5 o'clock. Well, ladies and gents, it's my time to shine. The other engines rolled their eyes. I wonder why I don't have nameplates like Scott's. Oh! The other engines jumped. as Gordon lay derailed, blocking 2 lines in total. Ah, there goes the weekend. Oh, the indignity. Sir Topham Hatt arrived shortly after to inspect the damage. Oh dear. I suppose you can't pull the special now, Gordon. Can't another engine step in as a substitute, sir? Afraid not, Molly. Anyways, you all have scheduled trains later on, and we really don't have any suitable spare engines, seeing that other engines like Scott, Richard, Joseph, Carl, etc. have all transferred railways at their request long ago. I should go inform Scotsman. Well, teased Douglas. Talk about slacking on the job. Oh. By 5 o'clock sharp, Scotsman departed with the special train, running solo. He quickly gathered up speed, determined to get the train moving. I say, Spencer and Gordon weren't kidding when they said the scenery here is wonderful. By the time they had passed Thomas's Junction, Scotsman was making excellent time, and his crew and the passengers were pleased. However, shortly after they passed Crosby, Scotsman began to feel an itch in his right cylinder. Driver, my right cylinder is feeling funny. Oh no, that doesn't sound good. We could try and make it to the workstation. So they carried on. As he passed Edward Station, Derek watched him go by in amazement. Just wow. However, Scotsman wouldn't reach the workstation. As he huffed up Gordon's Hill, he was heading for trouble. Oh! And Scotsman came to a standstill. Oh dear. His driver and fireman checked him over. Looks like your valve gear is partially jammed on the right side, said his fireman. You'd probably be able to make it to Vickerstown Light Engine, said the driver, but not with the train. I'll go see if the guard can help. And indeed, he did. Derek was still sitting in the yard when the station master ran up. Oh, thank heavens, Derek. We need your help. Scotsman's broken down on the hill. Apparently, he's going to head to Vickerstown Light Engine, but we need someone to take the train on. Boco's waiting at Kelsthorpe to help. Well then, said the driver, we'll be glad to help. Derek was thrilled. He quickly exited the yards with his driver, the guard, and an inspector on board. He stopped at the back of the train and gently buffered up. As the guard got out to board the train, Scotsman was uncoupled. Take care, I trust you'll do well, and Scotsman carefully rumbled over the hill. He's brave for running with a jammed valve gear, said Derek's driver. Indeed, now we're getting to Kelsthorpe or burst. Derek poured sand underneath him, and with the wave of a guard's flag, he set off. Come on. Derek felt slight heat coming from his engine. Steady, warned the inspector. Derek began to gain momentum as his engine cooled down. At last, the beginning of the train reached the top of the hill and began going downhill. Well done, boy, cheered his driver as they rumbled into the next station. The passengers cheered as Derek ran around the train and coupled up to it once again. Then, with a heave, he pulled out of the station and took the train to the next junction where Boco was waiting. Don't strain yourself, Derek. Derek made sure not to, but he was beginning to tire. Nonetheless, he arrived at Kelsthorpe where Boco was indeed waiting. Well done, Derek. Now, let me lend you a buffer. With Boco's help, the train quickly left the platform and set off into the countryside. It was a long way to the last 2 stations on the main line, and the weight of the train had made its presence well known. Then suddenly, Derek began to feel Boco's weight holding him back. Oh no. Derek? Yes, what's wrong? I think I'm out of fuel. I must have forgot to fill up earlier. Try and keep your brakes off. I'll manage. Are you sure? Positive. You help me, and I'll help you. And with an almighty heave, Derek began to pick up speed with Boco's weight. Well, bless me, said Boco's driver, impressed and amazed. At the workstation, Duke was waiting for his connection when... Attaboy, Derek! Even passengers from the platforms cheered, but Derek was too preoccupied to notice. He was growing tired, his face was red, his wheels hurt, his engine hurt, and he began to start having doubts of whether he could make it or not. Then... Do you think he'll be able to get us there? Of course, trust me. Sir Topman's engines are nothing but reliable. He'll pull through, just you wait. With great effort, Derek forced his way down the tracks, refusing to back down. Go on, Derek, we're nearly there. Meanwhile, at Vickerstown, word had gotten around about Derek's rescue, and everyone was waiting anxiously, until they heard a faint... With one final gust of exhaust, Derek braked the train into the station in fine style. Late, weary, and tired, but triumphant. An enormous collection of passengers and engines cheering flooded the platforms and station, all amazed by Derek's actions and were eager to shake the driver and inspector's hands. Teething troubles, they say. Well, I bet nobody ever saw this coming. I must say, fantastic job there, young fellow, praised Flying Scotsman. You Sudrians are the definition of invincible. See, I told you he's a kind fellow. Derek was too exhausted to speak, so he smiled warmly and honked a thank you. He and Boca were uncoupled and headed to the fueling sidings, while Spencer took the train onwards. After an hour or so, the two diesels made their way back to the sheds. Derek? Yes? I'm proud of you, and you should be too. Derek grinned. He had gotten what he wished for. And succeeded. When they arrived home, the Fat Controller was waiting for them. I say, well done to the both of you. You both made me very proud. You will both be receiving new coats of paint. And as for you specifically, Derek, well, it's safe to say that you will be rewarded with a fresh new engine. Sir, are you sure? Of course, you've earned it after all you've been through. Derek had never felt happier. That night in the sheds, Gordon was the first to speak up. Thank you two for covering the train today. And I am truly sorry for what I said, Derek. Grand job. Aw, Gordon apologized. Shut up. And they all went happily to sleep. Late next morning, before Derek was off to the works, his driver came up in front of him and patted him on the buffer. "Ah, there's my warrior in disguise," he joked. "Did you enjoy yesterday?" "Indeed, though it did feel like a big scavenger hunt desperately trying to make it to all those stations." "Ha, like walking up a down escalator while on roller skates."